Okay, so this is our panel question sheet for our electricians. So obviously you're going to want to write the customer's name down so you don't forget it. If you run into the spouse, you're going to write down his or her name, so you invite them with come the show and tell time. So you'll ask to go to the electrical panel and you'll start asking the questions. The first question is, from the first time you've ever used our company to right now, have we been giving you 5 out of 5-star service? We need to know that we have been giving them 5 out of 5-star service up to this point. The reason is that if maybe 2 weeks ago, 2 months ago, or 10 years ago, we screwed something up or they weren't happy about something we did there, we need to fix it, or we at least need to know about it right now, because there's a good chance we'll be proposing a $5, $10, $15, $20,000 job at this house. And if we're already below 5 stars, the odds are slim that they're just going to go ahead and sign up with us right then and there. Okay? Then, assuming we get a yes, we ask this question. If we continue to provide you 5 out of 5-star service, will you use our company for life? Now, we get them to say, or we hope they say yes. Because when a customer says, when they proclaim something to the world out loud, it is very difficult for them to go back. So if they say, yes, I'll use your company for life, again, it's very difficult for them to go back on their word. Okay, what are your expectations from today's call? Okay. Now, sometimes it's very obvious, like they have outlets not working, lights not working, or if it's an install call, maybe they want their hot tub wired or recessed lighting added in their kitchen, or, something along those lines. But we might be going there to just do a safety inspection of their home. Maybe they're a club member, or maybe we ran some type of a special. And a lot of times when we ask the customer, why do you want an electrical safety inspection? Their answer is something like this. Oh, well, I'm a club member. Okay. Or I seen, a $59 or $79 special online or something like that. Well, the customer doesn't want a safety inspection because they're a club member. The customer doesn't want a safety inspection because there was a deal online. They want it for 3 reasons. They either want safety, reliability, or energy efficiency, or they want all 3. So when a customer says that, I would say, well, thank you for being a club member, but why do you want me out here? Why am I in your house? And they might look at you really confused. And if they do, say, well, most people want an electrical safety inspection to make sure their electrical system is safe. Is that kind of what you want? And they'll probably say yes. I'll be, okay, great. And, another reason is to make sure it's reliable so it doesn't break down. Is that important to you? Oh, well, sure, I don't want breakdowns. Okay, great. So reliability. Then energy efficiency. Is energy efficiency important to you? Yes, it is. Great. So then we circle these, okay? Now they just proclaim to the world that safety, reliability, and or energy efficiency is important to them. So now when we're at the closing table asking for the sale and they say, no, thank you, or I'll think about it, you can simply say, well, Mrs. Jones, I thought earlier you said you wanted, safety was really important to you. Has something changed since we talked earlier? And see what they say. It's probably a smokescreen. It's probably just more expensive than they thought it was going to be, all right? So after we get through all those questions, have you ever had your electrical system serviced before? If so, what was done? Have they had somebody else work on their electrical system? Has it been broken? Has somebody been out there and hasn't been able to figure out the problem? It's funny the things the customers will not tell you unless you ask. What is the age of your home? That's good to know what year it was built. We know what codes were in place at the time. We know, how long the home has been around, how old the panel is, the smoke alarm system, carbon monoxide, things like that. How long do you plan on living in the home? That's good to know. If they're planning on selling it next week, I know how to handle objections. If it's their forever home, I know how to handle that objection. Have you had any power surges or lights flickering in the home? That's a surge protection question. If they've had surges or lights flickering, they've had a power surge. Are power outages common in the area? This is a surge protection and backup generator question. If they say, yes, we do have power outages in the area, I would ask them how often that happens and how long they're out of power for. Do any of these breakers trip often? Oh my goodness. I have made more sales off this question. All right, so when we're standing in front of the electrical panel, we ask this question, do any of these breakers trip often? And they'll be like, oh, we might not even be out there for a repair call. Maybe we're out there to wire a hot tub. But the fact that you brought it up, they may be like, oh, yeah. Every time our daughters are home from college, they get ready in the bathroom and they blow the circuit all the time. Well, Mrs. Jones, would you like me to look into a solution for that? Oh, that'd be great if you could. Again, ask the questions. They don't always remember when you're out there that their issues happen. And I would write down bathroom circuit trips and I would star it so you don't forget to give a price to fix that, okay? Or we can use that to sell a QCA or quality circuit analysis, all right? When working on your electrical system, do you have any computers on? The last thing I want is to turn off a breaker and they lose stuff they've been working on, right? Now, today's world with laptops and things, it's not as big of a deal, but it's just good to know. Do you have any high-end TVs or electronics that I need to worry about? This is kind of a surge protection question. What kind of scheduled service do you have in place for your electrical system now? And if they say nothing, I would raise my eyebrows and make it sound like that's really odd that they don't have that, and put nothing. That's a club membership question. Okay. After we ask all these questions, then we go to the area of work. So let's say their outlets aren't working in the living room. They would walk me to the living room and I would say, what's going on? They'd say, well, our outlets are not working in our living room. When did it happen? It happened 2 nights ago. What were you doing when it happened? Oh, I was trying to vacuum and then the vacuum stopped working. Okay. And then the most important question on the sheet, when were you looking at completing the work or repair? And the answer should always be today. So this question needs to always be asked every single time. Even if there's smoke barreling out of the electrical panel, when do you looking at getting the work taken care of? The answer is today. Because what we're going to do is we're going to be proposing a diagnostic, we're going to be proposing a QCA, or we might be proposing a install job, okay? And we need it today. We need to build urgency. So let's say they want their hot tub wired, right? Well, when were you looking at getting the work done? Oh, I don't know, in the next couple weeks. Oh, really? Okay, well, my company actually sets aside us time to actually go ahead and start these projects on the same day. So assuming we can agree on a price, is it okay if I start it today? And if they say yes, you write today. Now, later on at the closing table, when you give the price to wire the hot tub, and they say something like, okay, well, we're going to get a few other prices, we'll give you a call. You can look at them with a very confused look on your face and say, but Mrs. Jones, you told me that you wanted it started today. Has something changed? And then they'll probably say something like, oh, well, it's just a lot more than I thought it was going to be. Oh, okay, so it's more than you thought it was going to be. How much did you think it was going to be? And then you can get into those conversations. But if you don't ask this question up front, you can't get rid of those smokescreen questions. More than likely, it is probably more than they thought it was going to be. But they don't have to think about it. People don't pay $79 for you to drive out there, give them a price for them to think about it. They want it done. If you don't do it, more than likely somebody else is going to. So we need them to get today. So we ask the 4 W's again. What's going on? My outlets aren't working. When did it happen? Happened 2 days ago. What were you doing when it happened? I was trying to vacuum. And when were you looking at completing the work? Today. Then you're going to repeat the questions. Okay, Mr. Jones, so I'm just going to repeat these to make sure I heard you okay. So your outlets aren't working in the living room. It happened 2 days ago. You were trying to vacuum and you want them fixed today. Is that correct? And he'll say yes, which just reiterated today again. And we move on from there. So that is our electrical panel questions.